Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Modern at the request of Patreon subscriber Lake, and this is Shamans. This is a deck that I've played a couple different versions of on the channel over the years, and I actually have a deeper kinship with, because I registered this at a Grand Prix, probably around 2009, maybe 2010. This is a deck I believed in enough to sleeve up, pay my entry fee, travel to Atlanta, Georgia, and register in a 15-round tournament. The appeal of this deck is in a couple different spots. It's an aggro deck that sometimes plays like a combo deck. We've got mana acceleration in the form of Ignoble Hierarch, which is also a Shaman. Goblin and Archomancer, also a Shaman. Spells that are red or green cost one less to cast. And then we've got Harmonic Prodigy. If an ability of a Shaman or another wizard you control triggers, it triggers an additional time. These things together create a series of completely berserk turn 3s. For example, Goblin and Archomancer makes Collected Company cost only 3 mana. You can flip Coco into some series of all these other things. Harmonic Prodigy, doubling Shaman triggers. Burning Tree Emissary becomes Dark Ritual. Not just pay for itself, but it actually makes 2 additional green and red mana when you play it. Which means a curve like turn 1 Ignoble Hierarch, turn 2 Archomancer, which reduces the cost of Harmonic Prodigy, play Harmonic Prodigy, turn 3 Collected Company, hit Burning Tree Emissary and Eternal Witness. The Emissary makes 4, the Eternal Witness gets back the Collected Company, and then you just cast it again. And you can go pretty far into the deck. Rage Forger is the really exciting card in this one. This is a card that I used to love drafting. This is really my excitement for playing this deck. Harmonic Prodigy rules, but that came out in Modern Horizons many years later. Rage Forger was the guy that brought us in way back in 2009. When this creature enters, put a +1 counter on each other Shaman you control. And whenever a creature you control with a +1 counter on it attacks, you may have that creature deal 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. Rage Forger just on its own, ignoring all the other stuff, represents so much damage on the board. Even if you just have Ignoble Hierarch and Burning Tree Emissary, Rage Forger makes both of them 1 point bigger, and then when they attack, you get to shock your opponent directly to their face before damage even happens. And then the wider you are, the better. Then with Harmonic Prodigy, you put 2 +1 counters on it, and when you attack, it triggers twice, dealing twice as much damage. This looks like a creature deck. It's mostly a combo deck, but you can also get scrappy with creatures. I love this deck. I hope we get some crazy nut draws going in this league. Let's get into it. This is Gruul Shamans. I'm on the draw in round number 1. I am going to keep. My hand is on the slower side. There's no Ignoble Hierarch. However, pretty solid. Getting to send Harmonic Prodigy into Harmonic Prodigy. Good if the first one gets removed. One has got a Meticulous Archive. Blue-White Control and Esper Goryo are both popular decks in Modern. Goryo is more popular than Blue-White Control is, but Blue-White Control does exist. Opponent says, hello YouTube. Everyone say hi to Devious Penguin 666. Dumping in Ottawara. Commercial District. I do not need another land. And Archomancer. Okay. I'm actually going to lead on this one. It's scary enough that my opponent might want to interact with it, and it's powerful enough that I can go double Harmonic Prodigy next turn if they don't. Or I could just Coco in their end step if they don't, if I think this is Blue-White Control. Field of Ruin. I do only have 1 basic left. Alright, this is definitely Blue-White. They pitched a Supreme Verdict to Solitude. That is the correct amount of respect for that card. Okay, I think what I want to do here is play one of my Prodigies and pass. I could try to Burning Tree into Prodigy, but that Burning Tree is going to do so much more if I can untap with one of the Prodigies. Green Surge, hell yeah. I love my opponent's deck, though it is a frustrating one to be someone try to yeet a bunch of creatures against. All right, we've got 4 mana showing. Teferi Time Raveler, hate that guy. Prodigy is in my hand, but we will see if they have Force of Negation, because they are going to need it here. Commercial District, ooh, another BTE. I don't have a haste enabler, unfortunately, which is what I would really like here. I'm going to fetch, get Stomping Ground, play Prodigy, Emissary. I'm just going to try to send a collected company here. I'm going to keep it chill. All right, Path to Exile in response. Yeah, you better. This is my last basic, unfortunately. But I can drop another Prodigy. Keep the pressure up. Teferi Plus's Instancy Speed Supreme Verdict is not a card I can ever beat. I think what I have to do here is attack Teferi. But they are showing Solitude, which is a whole different problem. All right, I'm going to Burning Tree, see if they want to interact, if they want to kill Prodigy before this comes in. Brain Surge over the top. Okay, so I'm not getting Wrathed here. I could get Counterspelled. I could also get Solituded. We're in. All right, double that mana. Send me to the moon. All right, I'm going to Collected Company right now in the main phase. Force of Negation is live here. Yeah, okay. Snap that right off. Don't blame you. And I am going to drop a Seasoned Pyromancer right now while it still doubles. Okay, discard one card, draw two, then discard those two cards. This is not optional. Hit my land drop, and I'm going to attack Teferi with both of these. I do want Teferi gone because I simply cannot beat the card Supreme Verdict at instant speed. Oh, something's happening in the upkeep. Yeah, destroying one of my lands. This shuffles away their Brain Surge. I am out of basics. I do got a lot of fellas in the graveyard, though. Stomping Ground enters tapped. Eternal Witness can get back. Oh my god. Well, well, well. What do I want to do here? I'm going to play Rage Forger. That's what I'm going to do here. Though if I play Witness, get back land, something else, I can still Rage Forge. Yeah, I'm going to lead on Witness, actually, because this is going to trigger twice. And this is good counter bait. Okay, I'm going to go for Verdant Catacombs and Fable the Mirror Breaker in the graveyard. I'd like both of them back. And I'm going to send it like crazy with this Rage Forger. Is someone dead? Let's find out. We're in there. Put 2+1 counters on each of my Shamans. And go to combat. And what do you got? If they could trigger a Terminus here... Cryptic Command tapping my shit. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. I am exposed to a Wrath, but I did bank up this Fable. And they did pitch a Supreme Verdict early to Solitude. Yeah! All you could do is just ram it and hope it works in a matchup like that. And that's what I did. Okay. Lightning Bolt kind of mid here. There's not a lot of sideboard for this matchup specifically. Disruptor Flute, I can name the various Planeswalkers in their deck. I could even name Terminus in response to a Miracle trigger, and then it would cost 3. And if they're operating on light margins, that won't be very good. Endurance could just be a body I flash in. Just another instant in the deck. I think I actually want that. Not that I think the graveyard matters, but I do think that chip-shotting does matter. All right, let's get it. This is basically my nightmare matchup, and it would be exciting if we get to steal it in round 1. Mulligan this no-lander. Okay, I'll keep this one. Cavern of Souls, banger. I think I'm going to bottom Eternal Witness here. I can just see Disruptor Flute doing stuff where, you know, Eternal Witness, I like the grind, but I think I need to interact with some of their stuff first. They've got a Surveil land off of Mulda 6. Kept the card. I also have a Surveil land, and I drew the card I put to the bottom. It's like I kept 7. Burning Tree Emissary, yes. This is a line to Collected Company. If I play Prodigy, uncounterable. Cavern on... Oh, Prodigy is a wizard, though, which is a little tricky. Maybe they won't notice. I still have to put this on Shaman. We're in there. I don't expect this to be around, but I have invested my best play. A 3-mana showing. Land is an excellent draw. A land for turn, and I'm going to go for an uncounterable Burning Tree Emissary. And if they kill Harmonic Prodigy in response, I can still cast Eternal Witness or Aggro-Combo. Just do something else. All right, Marched, Otherworldly. BTE is in, and I'll use that to play Aggro-Combo. There's nothing in my graveyard to get back. I am representing Collected Company with my Aggro-Combo discount. I'm just going to attack for 4 and pass the turn. As these creatures in play, it's not like they're not hitting. Brain Surge, that can happen. The Anarchomancer is not something you can float. Like this effect, it's not like if they Supreme Verdict, I could float Collected Company and then play it after Verdict, so that is actually like a real thing. There's the Verdict. There's nothing I could have done with that Disruptor Flute in my hand about Supreme Verdict. Okay. I'm going to get Ignoble Hierarch in. Playing two of these out kind of sucks because it makes Wrath really good against me. But Wrath was already good against me. And now I would like more mana to play the game with. These are not good targets for Path to Exile, though. Teferi. Plussing that one. Look at the screen at my Ignoble Hierarchs if you can see it. They are displaying differently. One has the rules text for Exalted and the other doesn't. Why? These are cards from the same set. The same printing of the same card from the same set. Weird stuff, Magic Online. What are you up to? Okay. I can Disruptor Flute naming Counterspell here. I am going to play this Stomping Ground. Do I want to attack Teferi? I don't know that I can. All right, I'm going to attack Teferi. This puts 2 damage on it. It matters. And then I can Collected Company in the end step. March of Otherworldly Light. Right now, they cannot Counterspell. They can force a negation, but it'll cost 2 cards. Okay, Harmonic Prodigy plus Seasoned Pyromancer gets a bunch of stuff going here. I have to discard a bunch of cards, but I get a bunch of fellas. Okay. We spun those wheels, put a lot into play. Dead to the next Supreme Verdict. Plus Teferi, 5 cards in hand. Field of Ruin, both my basics are still there. Snap Supreme Verdict, pretty good. If only I had a Disruptor Flute to name Supreme Verdict. Alright, there goes everything. Seasoned Pyromancer in my graveyard. Teferi is several turns away from going ultimate. Alright, I'm going to Cavern on Shaman and pass. Cost 5 to exile Pyromancer. Brain Surge. I think this one has left me behind, but I'm going to keep bashing it out. Pyromancer exiled in the end step. Teferi gets to untap some lands. Emissary, not great. I'm going to draw a card with Sunbaked Canyon. Seasoned Pyromancer's okay. Attack Teferi. They could just take this. Solitude could completely smoke my board. Solitude, smoke my board, confirmed. And I can redeploy here. I've got an uncounterable Burning Tree Emissary, and then an uncounterable Seasoned Pyromancer, who will turn this forest into 2 new cards. Endurance in the hand. Pass. Ooh, Path to Exile. Hate that. Field of Ruins online now. Fully online. I discarded the forest. They know I only have 2 basics from game 1. Teferi's on 8. Goes off next turn. Double Field of Ruin. Gross. My carpets don't, or my caverns don't work anymore. Or they can, but they won't necessarily if my opponent decides to cook them. I'm going to fetch in the end step. I should have waited till Teferi's trigger resolves. Yeah, they can make me shuffle these surveilled cards. I don't want Anarchomancer anyway. I'm looking for pretty much Collected Company, and everything else is bad. Alright, here comes the fields. No action. And the other field on the cavern. Rage Forger. Alright, well, I'll cast it. Counterspell. And then I'll try to attack Teferi to at least not die next turn. And Snapcaster. Okay. You got me. Alright, game 3 on the play. Is this Disruptor Flute thing actually real? I guess I did have a window where I could have played a little more conservatively to lock out Supreme Verdict. And then if I had been able to keep it around for the Teferi, then their draw engine would have collapsed. So yeah, I'm actually into that. Sometimes there is wisdom to cut Mana Dorks versus Wrath of God decks, and I think we're in a spot where that's true. I'm going to shave 1 for another Endurance. Okay, I will keep this. Having both commercial districts in my hand kind of sucks, but I'm not going to mulligan a turn 2 Fable the Mirror Breaker in a control matchup. Okay, sick. It has to be Force of Negation here, and it's not. That was a great open. This is now a problem they have to solve all by itself, whether I play more cards or not. I would like to discard some number of these cards. Definitely one of the commercial districts. Do I want to discard the other one? Hitting land drops is pretty important. All right, I'm just going to go 1. And I did find an untapped land. I could have played Harmonic Prodigy first, which would have given me double treasures and double exalted, but I don't actually need to do that. And I'm pretty content to make them answer what I'm doing with Collected Company available. Castle Vantress tapped. I'm going to company in the end step. I'm just taking maximum damage to do this. Leave my basics in there. They'll probably counter this, but it has to be counterspell, and then they're tapped out for my turn. And Eternal Witness can get that back. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. What's about to happen? Okay. I'm going to go 1-2 Harmonic Prodigy. Should I Emissary pre or post combat? If I do it now, I get 4 mana that can play Eternal Witness, getting back Collected Company and a land. I end up with 1 mana unspent. If I attack first, I'll get 2 treasures. Okay, I'm going to attack first. This is 2 exalted, 2 treasures. Yeah, this is exactly enough to Collected Company. I think I want to play my Commercial District in case I mill over a better card to get back. I don't want the Stomping Ground anyway. And then Burning Tree Emissary. Goes double bubble. Eternal Witness. Get back Collected Company. And I guess I want Commercial District from the options available. And I don't think I'm actually supposed to play this, even though I did just do all that counting to figure out how to get exactly here. They have so many problems on board, and Wrath is how they catch up to the board, that why would I give them anything here? Okay, so Temp Lockdown leaves Reflection and Eternal Witness around. Gonna have to live with that. This is a lot of Collected Companies. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm gonna Collected Company right now, and hope they don't have Force of Negation. They don't. Burning Tree Emissary, Ignoble Hierarch are in. All this stuff to the bottom. Copy, target, Eternal Witness. Get my Collected Company back. The engine is online. Battlecruiser operational. Play Commercial District. I don't need another Burning Tree Emissary. Attack for 4. Well, they missed a land drop. They must have a good hand, though, but missing land drops is a big deal. This probably has to bounce Reflection, because that's the engine that's going on right now. All right, it's my turn again. All right, I'm going to give up on playing around their basic land hate and just fetch a basic. I'm going to Collected Company. Has to be Force of Negation, and it's not. Seasoned Pyromancer, Endurance, and Archomancer. Pyromancer would be good if I had played my Fable out before this. I value Fable more than I value a random card, that's for sure. So I'm going to get an Archomancer and Endurance. I wish that was Rage Forger. That's the one I was really looking for there. And I'll put their Counterspell on the bottom of their deck. And then I'll add my Fable. Didn't have to take damage. There's an Archomancer in play. Okay, attack Teferi, attack your life total. If they want to use Solitude to save Teferi, that's fine. Okay, seems they do. They are protecting Teferi. Okay, only 3 mana again. So they spent Solitude to protect Teferi when the only play they have is to replace the Teferi anyway. That was a good flush out of the Solitude. Okay, the Teferi bounce hit land number 4. Now it's game on for real. I'm going to discard this land and Burning Tree Emissary. I'm looking for Rage Forger to win this game. That's not Rage Forger. Could still be. All right, I'm going to draw a card with Sunbaked Canyon. Eternal Witness. I can Coco here. I have the Anarchomancer. So I get Company. Play Company. We're looking for Rage Forger. Yeah, 2 of them. Pew, 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 pew. Light them up. Hell yeah, okay. We took what is probably a very tough matchup in round 1. Just needed them to miss their 4th land drop until turn 7 to give me the window. But we did see a bunch of the engines kick in. The cost reduction mattered. I cast the same Collected Company, 4 times this game? Awesome. On to the next one. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 2. I will keep my hand. I hope this is a matchup where Lightning Bolt's good. Okay, we're playing against some Domain Zoo. They mulled to 6 to have the Leyline, so there's 5 actual cards in their hand. I have Beseiju, which could blow up their Leyline if I feel like that's what this game's going to be about. Commercial District, get in. Second Anarchomancer. I don't think I want that. I want different Shamans to round this out. Yeah, I'm just going to fetch Mountain here and play Anarchomancer. This is a pretty low impact Rage Forger as far as this card can go. Okay, well, I could Beseiju to free that in the future. Do they have it all? All right, we're getting a fetch and then a Territorial Kavu. Okay, allowed. Deck, please. Why? Why would you do this? All right, I am going to play Commercial District and be ready to fetch for another thing. I can Beseiju their Leyline of the Guild Pact, which is not great. I think I want to Beseiju their Leyline Binding, free my thing, and try to race. Right, they're going to attack for 5, probably loot a card. Looted away a Leyline. Pretty good. Yeah, this deck has bigger creatures than me, which means I need to have more creatures than them, which I have failed to do in this hand I've kept. Another Territorial Kavu. Okay, in the end step, I'm going to Beseiju their Leyline Binding, get my thing back, and then I'm going to fetch Commercial District and try to spike Collected Company or something that does something. They went for an untapped land. Ooh, well, that's exactly what I wanted. The Collected Company is here. They've got the Lightning Bolt. That's reasonably fine, I guess. And this deck can have counterspells in it, so I'm going to just pass right now. All right, I'm going to Coco now when they can't have a counterspell. Oh, I blew it. No, I didn't. I can still Lightning Bolt one of these things a couple times. I can't play Rage Forger this turn, though. Bolt. Bolt. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. They've got one card in hand, the ability to surveil, the ability to loot. And if this Rage Forger comes in next turn, we could have a damage race. Territorial Kavu getting in. I'm not interacting with this. I need all my creatures. Dumping a land. Oh no, something's happening. Lightning bolting my good creature. Sad. All right, we could be in some trouble. There's more. Doorkeeper Thrall. Oh no, this card is in your main deck. Well, that's bad news for my entire strategy. All right, GG. Doorkeeper Thrall, huh? Yikes. Okay, versus Zoo. Reclamation Sage actually has a number of hits in the deck. The Scion, the Leyline Binding. Blood Moon has spots where it's unbeatable and spots where it doesn't do anything. I think I do want the Rex Sages in. But this is mostly just going to be about speed. I'm going to shave a Lightning Bolt. I can't shave them all because we've seen Doorkeeper Thrall. That is not a card that's remotely beatable if it's in play. And maybe an Eternal Witness, just a little slow for the matchup. Let's go. On the play, this hand is super mid. It does interact with a Thrall. All right, I'm going to try it. I kept 7 with a Leyline. Tap land, go. I'm putting some faith in the deck to deliver a Collected Company or a Rage Forger or something that turns the corner. Cavern, okay. Cavern on Shaman. Play around those counter spells that they don't have right now. A fetching, despite having Leyline in play. Scion. Hard mode activated. Alright, I mean, I can play this Fable and see where life takes me. Do I want Emissary in play? I guess I do. It's going to come down to a damage race, and I might as well lean into that. Stomping Ground tapped and pass. It's pretty hard to damage race an untouchable 4/4 lifelink, though. But I have the... another one. Okay. Shocked in a blue source. Hate that. I do have Reclamation Sage is in my deck. Fable is going to discard Eternal Witness and Lightning Bolt, I think. I need a high roll here. Collected Company, kind of spooky. All right. Harmonic Prodigy costs 1. And I think I have to just pass the turn. If they go for a Lightning Bolt or something, that's my window to Coco. But I can't beat a Stubborn Denial right now. And now I'm just dead on board, so I have to send it. No decisions left to make. Big rips. That mostly doesn't matter. Okay, I'm gonna cast my spell and hope it wins the game. Blue mana, my nemesis. Alright, GG. That was pretty anticlimactic after the sick first game. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I am on the draw for round 3. I will keep. This deck is tricky with the mulligans because it does want to be explosive, but it also wants a critical mass of things. And a good 6 is better than a medium 7, but even a good 5 might just not have the pieces you need, even if it looks good otherwise. This is probably Jeskai Blink, the default top deck in Modern these days. Commercial District. Ignoble Hierarch. I think it's too late for you, fella. Into the graveyard. At least I could fend off that Ragavan. Arena of Glory. Scary. Fable. That's what I wanted to do. Alright, Goblin Anarchomancer. Not this turn, maybe next turn. Try to get my own Fables going. Oh, I have Anarchomancer into Rage Forger next turn. It's pretty powerful. It's less powerful all of a sudden. It feels pretty bad in a Fable mirror when you go second and they have the Fable. How do I want to approach this? Do I think just racing them out is even remotely reasonable? Because I could go Anarchomancer, Rage Forger, or I could go Anarchomancer, Seasoned Pyromancer, double Rage Forger next turn. I'm going to loot away Fable. This game is just going to be too fast for that card to matter. Okay, Anarchomancer, Cavern on Shaman. And I can't actually play Seasoned Pyromancer here because I would end up losing a Rage Forger, which is my whole plan. Eternal Witness, get back Lightning Bolt, I guess. Okay, passing and hoping I can combo kill them next turn, but any removal spell makes that pretty hard to do. Thelia's in off of the treasure in the end step. And my permanents are all pretty awesome, so they don't really want to flicker those. They could reset their Reflection, they could play a Solitude from their hand and Wrath me. Quickly fetching that 5th land is distressing. Oh yeah, we're very, very dead. GG. Don't need to keep doing that. Okay, Blood Moon actually looks solid here. Their mana's a bit of a mess. They have red cards they can play. I've been instructed by Lake to board out Eternal Witness when I bring in Blood Moon, because it's really hard to cast. And Dead Gone might be better than Blood Moon. It's killing the Felias and the Ragavans more reliably. Yeah, I don't really think Eternal Witness grind is going to be what this game's about. Okay, I am going to try it like this. On the play, I'm still mostly as aggressive as I can be. Okay, I'll keep this. This one has a 2-drop, and I get the first crack at Fable this time around. Lightning Bolt, I'll keep it. I hope they don't have Ragavan, because then I have to make decisions. Okay, fetching. This certainly smells like Ragavan. Yep. Smells like Ragavan, and he smells bad. Alright, I just have to Bolt Rag. And then I'll play Fable on curve instead, and save my Anarchomancer for a big later turn. Other Commercial District. Emissary. I'll keep that. That's some extra here. Like, I can just play this, and then also the Fable that I was going to play anyway. And if they want to consign to memory that trigger, that's fine. Okay, Fable's in. Just a little extra material in play. They could drop Felia this turn in the end step and then start doing stuff. This deck is so sweet. Okay, that's not Felia. We love a tap land. I fetched my basic forest. I don't think they're going to have Blood Moon, but I'm okay with them thinking that I have Blood Moon. Basic mountain. That must just be to save life. Blade is going to kill my Goblin Shaman. Goodbye. Stomping Ground. I might just not loot here. Or I could get rid of Eternal Witness. They can escape Flage here. Alright, I am going to loot away Eternal Witness. And I might loot the Stomping Ground as well. Yeah, I'm going to swing for the fences here. Insofar as where I can even find fences to swing for. It's crazy that it's turn 4 and they've only cast one spell this game and they have Flage already. This fetch lands and surveil lands doing the work. I don't know if I can beat Flage. Okay, I am going to discard Seasoned Pyromancer and Lightning Bolt. Like, that's just not helping anymore. This is a Goblin Shaman on the back. I can Anarchomancer into Rage Forger and just have some damage on board at least. Guess that's what I have to do. Anarchomancer, Rage Forger. Unfortunately, I don't have a double. If I could get Reflection bigger than Flage Death Trigger, that would be something I could do. But that's not a thing I can actually do. All right, so what I need to do here is for them to not have any major follow-up in the 6 cards in their hand, and then I need to draw Collected Company. I think Flage has to kill Reflection here. Oh wow, going face. That's so terrifying. All right, I'm at 6. You got double bolt or what? What are we doing? I accept death if they can kill me from 17. Oh yeah. All right, that plays. Bad news for me. Cavern on Shaman. And I'll pass with Seasoned Pyromancer activation available. Fable, which I can hit with Beseiju. I don't know that I want to. I need Collected Company. Cavern on Shaman again. Just pile them up. I'm going to let opponent fetch in the end step, and then I'm going to Beseiju the Fable after that. Because they surveil to the top, I can at least mess with that a little bit. This is still 4 cards already for Flage. It doesn't take much to get her back. There's so many surveil lands in this deck. So many things to do, even when you're not doing anything. Just good deck building. Oh, they left a card on top instead of getting Flage back. That's so much scarier. Prismatic Ending. All right. I'm very dead here. I'm good. I'm good. Maybe Endurance is supposed to be in just because of how impactful Flage is, but that feels bad versus their deck in general and everything else they do. All right, on to the next one. Another Bloodbath. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the draw in round 4. I have an Ignoble Hierarch. I'm in. I've missed him the last couple matches. A Flooded Strand. I'll get my Hierarch in, and we'll see what's coming out of this Flooded Strand. A Boros Land. Could be just Guy Blink again. Okay. March of Otherworldly Light. I don't think Boros Energy main decks that card. Prismatic Ending. Yep, sure. Just Guy again. Alright, I was in the market for that land, and I found it. There is no reason to play Burning Tree Emissary this turn versus next turn. I guess playing it this turn makes just like tapping out for Teferi a little different. But it costs me a Surveil. Yeah, I would rather Surveil. Commercial District. Harmonic Proj. I'll take it. Now I'm really glad I kept this Burning Tree back. I'm going to fetch Basic Forest and develop this Fable. This is pretty rough into Felia, but what do you want me to do about that? Nothing. I guess I could have Burning Treed, so if Felia attacks and blinks out my thing, I have a blocker. Maybe that one is actually worth it. But if I find a mana in my draw step plus Fable Chapter 2, I have the combo. Okay. They could have done that for free. And okay, so they could have gone face with Flage and then attacked and flickered out my creature for the exact same result, except my life total's lower. I'll take that. All right, land for the combo. Hell yeah. Do I even want to loot cards away now? I don't think I do. I have it all. All right, Harmonic Proj. Certainly the card Solitude is not in my near future. I simply don't want to imagine a world where that's true. All right, 4 mana. This gives me Collected Company. And then we'll see what else happens. Harmonic Prodigy, Rage Forger. Light it up. Pew, 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 pew. All right, put 3 counters on each of my Shamans. The Harmonic Prodigies are not Shamans, so I actually only have 1. So moderate, but not bad from 3 mana to suddenly have this board. Felia doesn't really want to attack into any of this. Prismatic Ending, one of the Prodigies. Felia can flicker out Burning Emissary, I guess. Makes my board a little smaller. I'll block. I don't think they can deal 1 damage. Like if they have Lightning Bolt, fine. If they don't, we'll touch butts and I'm at 2 higher life. Lava Dart me. Just show me what a fool I've been. Hey, Ragavan. Cool. All right, Emissary comes back. I don't have a Collected Company in my hand to use that mana right now, unfortunately. How sick would that be? Draw for turn. It's Cavern of Souls. Reflection flips. All right, Cavern on Shaman. And let's forge some Rage. This will be double triggers on double friends. All of these will get double triggers, and when they attack. Okay. So they're going to take out Harmonic Prodigy before I get to double anything. Just 1 trigger. I'll have to take it. Okay, so my attacks now, definitely Rage Forger. Flage is in that graveyard. I'm going to leave back a pair of 3/3s and just attack for 5. As Felia can reset Reflection, and if Ragavan gets the 4th mana, that's Flage. I'm trying to turtle up here because I am ahead on board if I can maintain any of this. Prismatic Ending, my biggest creature. Disappointing. Felia can flicker out Reflection, which is not free. And do I want to trade Rage Forger? I could draw a card with Sunbaked Canyon, see what happens. All right, I'm going to do that. I'm going to draw with Sunbaked Canyon, see if this impacts my decision. Ooh. Well, that's really good. If Ragavan hits me, Flage is guaranteed next turn. All right, I'm going to take 1 chance with Ragavan. These things can hit me. Please don't flip Lightning Bolt. Okay, they exiled Harmonic Prodigy. Didn't want it. Surprising. Ooh, consign. All right, my thing's gone, but they are hellbent. It's go time. Multiple companies. Send it. Just a Rage Forger. That sucks. I wanted 2 things. All right, how much damage is this? It's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It is not lethal, but it is a battle I'm going to have. Okay, they take a huge chunk here. They can play Flage this turn. They could play Flage, kill a guy, flicker Flage, kill a guy. Or am I dead? No, not quite. They can't quite defeat me here. They're killing the Rage Forger of moderate size. Flickering out Rage Forger isn't the best idea. They'll probably flicker out Flage. Or just not attack, I guess is possible. They're flickering out my 4/4 Forger. Alright. I'll take 2. Rage Forger triggers. Draw for turn. Burning Emissary. That gives me a little extra here, I guess. Emissary. It's at least a blocker. Collected Company. Please be good. Rage Forger Harmonic Prodigy. Let's fucking go. That's what we're looking for. That makes up for the last bad one. Alright, Forger trigger twice, and then when I attack, they just die. Pew, 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 pew. Alright, Rage Forger outmuscling Flage, Ragavan, Felia. Who's the modern staple now? Okay, this matchup feels bad enough that I probably do want the Blood Moons. And I was instructed not to bring in Endurance when I bring in Blood Moon, and to cut Witness when I bring in Blood Moon. Fiddling with the matchup here. One extra removal spell. Blood Moon's here now as a major pivot. Still no graveyard hate, but I just proved we can beat Flage with a solid run of Rage Forgers. This hand is good enough. I wish this commercial district was a different land, but I'll take it. Keep. Okay, the tap land start is pretty exciting. That lets me develop Ignoble Hierarch. Cool, cool, cool. I found a land. I will access my forest while I can. Threaten that turn 2 Blood Moon. Prismatic Ending. And fetch Steam Vents and Ragavan. Okay. I could put a 1-3 in front of Ragavan and just hope it holds, or I can bolt Ragavan and be done with it. And I'm just going to play it careful here because this game gets out of control quickly if they're ramping mana on me. Arena of Glory to Fairy. I have some instants in my deck, not many. Ignoble Hierarch, too late for you. I'm going to play Aggro-Combo. That's the one that represents the most mana if I untap with it. They'll probably just bounce it unless they have a better removal spell for it. Flage qualifies. Okay, 3 cards in the graveyard, 1 card in hand. Fable, Stomping Ground tapped, and pass. They'll definitely bounce my Goblin Shaman here. Yep, that one's easy. Okay, Prismatic Ending. This is 4 cards for Flage in the graveyard now. Oh. Oh. All right. Let's see what happens here. I'm either gonna like cast a bunch of cards from my hand, or I'm gonna lose. All right, Burning Tree Emissary, good for 4 mana. I actually don't even mind Lightning Bolt here because this, I can't cast all these cards anyway. All right, I'm fucking dead because they have, or no, they need a white source. They need a white source. I'm not dead yet. I'm just very badly burnt. Okay, deleting. There it is. All right. Yeah, they have the Arena plus Flage, and that is enough to beat any deck. That's literally Splinter Twin. I guess I have to play it out because I'm not quite actually dead. But it sure feels like it. Why are we okay with Flage in Modern and not Uro? I think Uro is safe to unban. Give me my boy back. All right, deck. What do we need? Well, that's probably near the top of the list. I'm going to fire at main phase in case I hit mana out of it. Oh, that's not what I meant. Okay, I'm not going to keep playing. All right. Game 3, I'm on the play. Blood Moon does lock Flage out, probably more reliably than Endurance does. Though Endurance can be a body. And do I want another big body that I can jump in that also has text versus Flage, or do I want this hammer that if I get it down, the game is over? I'm going to go for the hammer. On the play, I like this. Keep it. A Forest Hierarch. This puts them immediately in the spot where they need a removal spell, or I'm going to Fable them. They have a lot of removal spells. But if they play like Ragavan here, okay, this is a spot where I am going to use Burning Tree Emissary to get ahead. Right, Cavern on Shaman. Emissary, use the mana, play Fable, and now I have 2 real blockers in front of Rag. 2 cards I'm happy to loot away next turn. I'll block this shit so fast. Right, Burning Tree Emissary, trade off with Ragavan. Lightning Bolt. All right, big loots, find some good cards. Get rid of all the lands I'm holding. Found a different land anyway. I'm going to play Stomping Ground tapped. Drop out Aggro-Combo, then attack for 1. I could hold up Lightning Bolt, but if they dash Rag, I'll just block. And that's the only thing that I'd want to hold up Lightning Bolt for. Okay, I'm looking for a Rage Forger or a Collected Company to push my tenuous advantage. They have more cards in hand and a deck full of answers, but I have the battlefield right now. To Fairy. What are we worried about? Aggro-Combo. That honestly feels pretty mid. Ooh. Well, that's disappointing. Because I would really like to kill Teferi this turn, but I also want to resolve Collected Company while I can. Though I think I can do that next turn as well. What am I worried about? Like Wrath of the Skies? What am I worried about Teferi doing? It's actually really interesting. All right, I am going to Burning Tree Emissary into Collected Company here. Emissary and Arcomancer leaves me 1 mana short. All right, Coco. Damn it. All right, small Coco. Blood Moon to the bottom of the deck. All right, pretty mediocre. Wrath of the Skies is tough here, but Reflection would survive it. A passing with all this mana up. This could be Wrath of the Skies. Okay, I am going to attack Teferi with my 2 creatures that have 2 power. If they have Wrath, I'll just bolt second main. Okay. I don't like it, but okay. Lightning Bolt Teferi. Play an Arcomancer. And I'm in some trouble. I guess if I had bolted Teferi pre-combat, I could have had a mana up to do something with Reflection, or just known to attack with Reflection, and now they have Flage in the graveyard, which is suspend 1, win the game. Collected Company off the top. Okay, Hierarch. Attack you for 3. They've got Flage in there, but I am drawing live to Collected Company, so I will keep pushing it out. So if I had boarded in Endurance instead of Blood Moon, I would have hit 2 creatures on the Coco, and their graveyard would be much smaller here. Maybe just Coco numbers are a reason to lean. If a creature and a non-creature have a comparable effect on the matchup, maybe I'm just supposed to be playing the creature. Because I do think if I had hit Endurance off that Collected Company, we would be in pretty good position right now. They wouldn't be able to escape this Flage. I would have a 3/4 in play. Oh yeah, this deck has so much removal. Company dead. All right, GG's. Can never beat Flage. On to the next round. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in the final round, seeking a W here. 2 bolts, 2 Anarchomancers. 2 ways to surveil. I'm going to try mulling to get a hand that pushes a little harder. Okay, this one at least has like Seasoned Pyromancer to move cards around. I could ship the bolt and rely on the rest of the hand. I'm going to keep the 1-drop and get rid of Eternal Witness. And pass. I'm leaning on Wooded Foothills in case this is like burn or something that it matters that I keep the 1 extra life. Oh, it's Amulet. Well, the race is on. I'll get Commercial District. I do not want a second Lightning Bolt, though 2 bolts do kill a Primeval Titan. That is not what I'm going to hang my hat on here. Okay, Sunbaked Canyon, play Goblin and Arcomancer, and hope I get a 3rd turn, and that Collected Company shows up on top of my deck. There have been Gruul Storm decks in the past. Like, anyone who sees an Arcomancer is probably not thinking Aggro-Shamans. They're probably thinking, like, Manamorphose, Rituals, Strike It Rich, Storm. Though since Ruby Medallion and Ral were printed in Modern Horizons 3, there's not really a reason to do the deck like this anymore. This was a Modern Horizons 2 thing. I love that Modern Horizons sets not only invalidate everything you knew about the format, but also previous Modern Horizons sets. You love to see it. I hope they never print one of those sets ever again. We're against a double Amulet draw. This is 3 mana. Or no, it's 4. No, it's 3. Yes, 3 mana. Spelunking. This is probably a bunch more mana. Simic Growth Chamber. Okay, well, this is another 4 mana. Probably going to pick up Itself or Crumbling Vestige. Picked up Crumbling Vestige. All right, well, here's Primeval Titan. Off of another Growth Chamber. Remember in round 1 when I thought Blue-8 Control was a bad matchup, and then we played against Jeskai Blink twice, Domain Zoo, and Amulet? And now I long for the days. I pray to all of the gods that decide who you play against again in Magic that I could just play against Blue-8 Control 5 rounds in a row compared to what's just happened. And these are all the top Modern decks. It's not like, you know, I'm running bad or anything. It's just, I thought the deck with a bunch of Wraths was going to be the bad matchup, but it turns out it's actually decks that are way faster than me and have bigger creatures than me. And playing against a deck with a bunch of removal is actually pretty reasonable. I'm just going to F6 here and see if they mess up or timeout or whatever. I'll bring you back when something important happens. But this is a loop where you can copy Primeval Titan with Mirror Pool and then do a bunch of other stuff. They're basically going to just throw their deck at me here. Echoing Deeps copies Mirror Pool and they get a second Lotus Field. The Lotus Field will sacrifice itself after making a bunch of mana. Then they get another Primeval Titan, and then they're looking for Aftermath Analyst, which is then infinite everything. The fun thing about this battlefield is that even if my opponent messes up and doesn't find the deterministic line that actually kills me this turn, I can't actually beat 3/6/6s. Not on turn 2. I am recording this before November 10th, and it's going to come out after November 10th. And I think Modern is mostly doing okay. But if there is a deck that is affected by the November 10th ban updates, Amulet is always just on that line. And when you see games like this, you certainly would not feel bad having Amulet banned. All right, Hammer Battlements gives one of the primetimes haste, and now they have to sacrifice 6 lands, which is all of them. All right, they've got Teleria West, which will get Summoner's Pact, which will get Aftermath Analyst, and then everything else happens. All these lands come back. I guess they need a Delirium land, Shifting Woodland, to finish the loop, but I imagine they can find one. I'm just going to let them have their fun. Now that they've cast a Pact, there is a world where they mess up to the point where they can't pay for a Pact, which is very difficult to do, but if they end up sacrificing some number of lands and get the number wrong, I've got a chance. Okay, opponent has been clicking for thousands of years, and they just used Otawara to bounce my blocker, and they have 18 power worth of attack, which is my life total. This should get it done. Casual turn 2. Okay, to the sideboard. Here we've got Rexage, Blood Moon. Disruptor Flute's probably good enough. Lightning Bolt, not helpful in this matchup. Permanent cards in graveyards can't enter the battlefield. That includes Aftermath Analyst, right? Yes, it does. Does this do anything else? Can't cast non-creature spells from graveyards or exile. I don't know if this isn't good enough just to turn off Analyst, but we might be in a play literally anything that might help situation. Eternal Witness feels pretty slow here, and maybe I bring in one Jailer. I can hit it off Coco, I guess. And this is what I'm doing. I'm boarding out 3 creatures, I'm boarding in 3 creatures. My creature count hasn't changed. Meltdown can be useful versus amulets, but if they pass the turn with 1 amulet in play, especially 2 amulets in play, and I have Meltdown, doesn't seem great. Gone can bounce a Primeval Titan before they can give it haste or copy it with Mirror Pool. That could buy me a turn, but I think all of that is getting too cute, especially on the play. All right, I will keep Disruptor Flute on Primeval Titan, makes it cost 9, which they'll get to eventually, but hopefully it'll take a while. It's on a Multa 6. Cavern on Shaman, and we've got a Hierarch. Passing the turn, am I dead on turn 2 again? Echoing Deeps. Yeah, only one thing that could play. Okay, I think my play here is Commercial District tapped and pass. I don't want this land. I'm going to pass. If they go Buck Wild here, I can Flute and tax a Primeval Titan. Second Amulet, okay. This is 4 mana. Picked up the Deeps. Transmuting Teleria. Getting Summoner's Pact. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go to my turn. Cavern on Shaman. Burning Tree Emissary. Cast Goblin and Archomancer. And my plan here is after they commit the Summoner's Pact, I can make Primetime cost 3 more and hope they just die to their own pact. Not attacking with the Hierarch is suspicious. They probably suspect something like Beseju here. Okay, this is risky, because if they just have the Primetime, it's too late. Alright, I gotta do it now. I would prefer to respond to Pact with this, but if they just have Primeval Titan in their hand, that's not going to work for me. Alright, Primeval Titan costs 9. I hope they needed that. Beseju, okay. well, I hope that set them back. And of course I drew the commercial district, so I can't even get value out of this. Grazer. And they're back up to 5 mana here. Yep, they had Primeval Titan. Okay. Well, I did what I was supposed to do, and now I'm going to F6 and see if they time out, because I'm pretty sure this is a deterministic win, but they only have 10.5 minutes to do it, and I'm a salty baby after getting got by Amulet Nuts twice in a row. The race is on. It's just not the race you would normally think. Okay, opponent is at the end of their loop. They have 2 minutes on the clock, which is plenty of time to get into combat with their 4 hasty Primeval Titans. I've just been chilling, clearing quests on my phone games. Get my dailies. Yeah, crazy though that we just died on turn 2 in game 1, and then we died on turn 3 through a hate piece. Like on the same turn. It wasn't even like the hate piece came down and they spent a turn figuring out and got me on the next turn. It was just like, yeah, that's fine. I have 8 mana. And Beseiju. Okay, they're going for another loop, which they did not need to do. So, you know, fingers crossed. This is my out. Yeah, they could have just gone into combat there. I don't know that this is going to take 90 seconds to resolve, but it was not necessary. It would be sick if they're reverse trolling me and just trying to win with exactly 1 second on the clock. I bet they could orchestrate that situation. All right, here we go. They're in combat. It's not going to take 60 seconds to decline these Primeval Titan triggers, and then I am dead. Okay, tough outing for Shamans. We saw this deck do what it's supposed to do a couple times, intermittently throughout the league, and if you're goldfishing the deck, it looks crazy. Like the lines that I described in the deck tech of like turn 3 or 4, I'm attacking you for 16, and then I have super lethal on board with Collected Company still in my hand. But it turns out that stuff is just too slow for Modern. And just the normal stuff that happens in a Modern game, like your opponent plays a 5/5 Territorial Kavu, or your opponent puts a Flage into play, which kills one of your creatures, then is a 6/6, or your opponent plays Primeval Titan. Even if I wasn't deterministically dead to the double Amulet start both games, beating a 6/6 was not going to be trivial. I really like the core of this deck, but it is a deck that feels like it would have been competitive in like the Melirapod era of Modern, not the Esper Gorios and Amulet Titan era of Modern. And trying to think just what it would take to get to that point. Like, are we at a place where we have to give up on some number of Shamans and maybe Eternal Witness isn't good enough and we have to main deck the Reclamation Sages and some Endurances just to create a speed bump against the faster decks in the format so we have a chance? Maybe, but that's also really sucks and is boring. Though I could see an Archomancer and Eternal Witness being flex slots as long as we play other creatures that still work with Collected Company in there, like main deck 3 Endurance, 2 Rex Age. And then that opens up a bunch of other sideboard slots because a third of the sideboard is in the main deck now. Your nut draws become less nutty, but you are more likely to see turn 3 if that's how the deck is constructed. And I hate it, but it might be what is necessary in this metagame. I'm going to leave this one here. We had some exciting Rage Forger business going on, and mostly just got beat by the powerful Modern top tier of the metagame. Lake, thanks for sending this in. I'm always happy to play it. I hope this is carrying you better at your locals than it is to me on Magic Online. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.